What's up, guys? Lone Driver Mike again, bringing you another video. And in this video, guys, we're actually going to talk about tips. Mostly this focuses on food delivery, Postmates, Doordash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, any kind of food delivery. But this can also go for like rideshare, like Uber and Lyft. When I used to do Uber and Lyft full time, I mean, I occasionally do it here and there, but mostly I focus on food delivery. Basically, most of our money actually came from the ride. So the tips was a very small percentage of the actual our income. Now, when it comes to food delivery, believe it or not, close to about half of the income that we make from food delivery comes from the tips. So as you know, different food delivery companies pay different. The lowest, Postmates, pays only $4 per order on the quick ones. So that's all we're getting. So if you guys don't tip us, we're only making about $4. And that's pretty sad, you know, when you think about it. You know, all our time and effort, you know, if it takes us, you know, 30 to 40 minutes to get the food and drop it off and all that, you know, you gotta wait for the food, you gotta drive to the restaurant, you gotta drop it off. It takes you 30-40 minutes, you only make $4. So imagine if you only do two orders an hour, that's only $8 an hour, guys. So that's really pitiful, I think. When it comes to Uber and Lyft, it's basically based off the ride. So if you're driving, you know, 10 miles or 15 miles, you know, you're gonna make roughly $1 a mile. So it's not bad. When I used to work in the Bay Area, I used to do, you know, maybe about $20 and $25 an hour, which is not too bad. But in Sacramento, it's closer to like $10-15 an hour. So really, when you think about it, Uber and Lyft and food delivery is roughly the same in Sacramento. It's pretty low pay. It's not that much. Just because the dollar amount per mile is only about 80 cents a mile. So, you know, you're really not making too much money anyway. So, you know, if you want to do Uber or Lyft, that's fine, because food delivery is basically the same amount. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of sucks. But when it comes to tips, guys, with food delivery, most of our money, actually almost half of it, comes from the tips. So if we're not getting tips, you know, we're basically making about $5 an order. So we're wasting our time, our gas, our energy. Many times we go to the restaurant, the food's not even ready yet. We gotta wait for it to be made. It's busy, we gotta wait in line, and you know, we don't get paid for that. You know what I'm saying? We get about $4 or $5 an order, and it's just not enough. So really, it's really appreciated when you guys tip us. Like I said, Uber and Lyft pays per mile, you know, and the minute and all that kind of stuff. So it typically pays pretty good, Uber and Lyft. When I used to do it, very small percentage of the income actually came from any kind of tips. I mean, I'd be lucky if I made $20 in tips with Uber and Lyft. And I used to go to the Bay Area, and I used to make $300, $350. So out of that $350, if I got lucky, maybe $40 of it came from tips. So the majority of people who do Uber and Lyft, the majority of the income is actually from the ride itself, from the actual trip itself, not from the tips. Now, with food delivery, it's completely different. Basically, our pay consists of the order, which is usually we usually make between $5 to $7 per order, plus tip. So the tip is needed, believe it or not. We only make about $5 to $7 per order. So you do the math, 20, let's say you do 20, you know, let's say you do all day, right? Do all day, 20 orders times 7. that's only about $150. It's not too good. So honestly, we should be getting, you know, at least $100 or more in tips. Roughly half should be coming from tips when you do food delivery. If you're not getting any kind of tips, it's really not even worth it, guys. I mean, when we go out, waste our gas and our time, we need tips. It's not that, you know, we're greedy or whatever. It's just that these food delivery companies, guys, they don't pay us enough, and that's what you guys need to understand. The tip is greatly appreciated, and honestly, it's needed, right? It's needed for us for us to make our goal and our income for the day. We need a tip. Now with Uber and Lyft, we don't need a tip because Uber and Lyft pays enough. They pay enough for the ride and all that, you know, and it's busy enough for us to stay busy all day, and it compensates enough. But when we do, you know, when we work for food delivery companies like Postmates, Doordash, Grubhub, Caviar, Uber Eats, all those kind of companies, they do not pay enough. Some pay per mile, but it's only from the restaurant to the drop-off. And so many times if the restaurant's kind of far, you're driving there, like Postmates, they don't pay us for those miles, only from the restaurant to the drop-off. And many times it's close by. So if it takes us 20-30 minutes to complete that order, we're only making about $4 or $5, and that's without tip, guys. And many times I'll see, like, you know, I'll do DoorDash or Postmates, and I'll look under the tip and it says 0 and 0. And I mean, I totally understand you're paying for the fee, like the delivery fee, but that doesn't pay our tip. You know what I'm saying? It does not compensate for the amount of work that we do and the amount of gas and time we put in. We're averaging about $5 per order, okay? So we're making about $10 an hour without tip. And some of you think, well, that's good enough, and it's not. It's not good enough. We have to pay taxes. We have to pay our own gas, our own food, everything. We're our own boss. We are independent contractors. So when you guys order an Uber and Lyft, tip is optional, right? It's totally fine. You know, I didn't need tips when I did Uber and Lyft. I made enough off the ride. Uber and Lyft paid good enough to where I didn't need hardly any tips. If I made tips, it was about $20. But for the full day, I made about $300. So you see what I'm talking about? Tips wasn't needed for Uber and Lyft. I appreciated them, but it wasn't necessary. Now, when we do food delivery, we're not being compensated for these minutes and the miles, and it compensates. Some companies do compensate, but it's just not enough. With the amount of time we're waiting at the restaurant, we have to drive to the restaurant, we got to wait there for the food, and then drive to you, and then drop it off. And many times when we go to the restaurant, the food's not even ready. They have to make a fresh batch of fried rice. Today I had a Panda Express order. It should have been ready when I got there. They didn't have my order ready. They never received my order from DoorDash. I don't know what happened. I had to wait. I didn't get paid for this. I had to wait probably about 15 minutes for them to make new fried rice. And then when I looked over to see what was going on, they were making someone else's order, and I was there before them. And I stood up and I said, "Hey, are you guys working on my order? This is not for me. This is for the customer." "Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot." "Oh, well, if I ordered before you, if I ordered before all these other people, my order should have been done already. You know, as soon as you made the fried rice, you should have got my order done." So guys, believe me when I tell you this, to the customers, to the people who order, you know, from DoorDash or Grubhub or Postmates or Uber Eats or Caviar, I know you want to order food, you want it delivered to your house. But I'm telling you right now, we do not make enough. They do not pay us enough for the time and the miles and the gas that we use. They do not pay us enough. It's roughly $5 to $7 per order, okay? As a food delivery driver, I should be making roughly the same as a Uber driver. because I'm my own boss. I'm independent contractor. I'm wasting my own gas and my own time and all that. And I got to do taxes at the end of the year. So believe me, when I get $10 an hour, I might as well go to McDonald's, right? I might as well work at McDonald's. But the reason why I do this is because I'm my own boss. I can work anytime. I can wake up anytime. I can do a full 12 hours. When I do this, I do 12 hours a day. That's what I love about it. You work at McDonald's, you're limited. You can't work a full, sometimes, most of the time you can't even work 8 hours a day. You know, they put you on a schedule at part-time, you know what I'm saying? They work you at 4 hours at a time, you know what I'm saying? And that's it. So many times, you know, work at a warehouse to make any kind of good money, you had to work overtime, you know, time and a half. And with this job, you know, with Uber and Lyft, I was making between, like I said, $20 to $30 an hour. Now, food delivery, I should be making about the same. But it depends on the tips. And you guys should tip. Now, you know, if you get occasional 1 or 2 non-tips, it's okay. You know, sometimes the delivery fee or the time and the miles, it does compensate just enough. But many times, if it's a quick order, boom, wham, bam, we only get about $5. So, as food delivery drivers, we should be making roughly $10 per order. So if we can get 2 an hour, or 2.5 orders an hour, or 3 orders an hour, boom, there's our goal, $20 to $30 an hour. That's what we should be making. That's what I was making with Uber and Lyft. You know, from time to time, I will hit my goal, right? $20 to $30 an hour. But that's only when I get tips. Like I said, guys, these companies, Uber Eats and Postmates and Doordash and Grubhub, they don't pay enough, guys. They do not pay enough, right? They don't pay. Some of them pay per mile, per minute. Some of them don't. Some of them just pay the flat $5 or $4 like Postmates. You know, they pay per mile, but if it's close by, it's $4. All right. So believe me, if you get a delivery driver and you're thinking, oh, you know, you do delivery this weekend or whatever, and you think, well, I never tip my delivery driver. He gets paid enough. Let me tell you this, from a guy that delivers food for a living, you know, and has been doing Uber and Lyft and doing Postmates and Doordash and all that kind of stuff. DoorDash and Postmates and these food delivery companies, they do not pay enough. Believe me, they do not pay enough. And I totally understand. You guys are paying for the delivery fee, and it can be anywhere from $5 to $10, you know, the delivery fee. But usually it's not that much, you know. It's the fee for the delivery, right? It pays, you know, it helps the company, it pays the company, that's it. And a small percentage of that goes to me, and that's it. Not anywhere in the delivery fee, it has nothing to do with tip. You guys have to tip, you know. I'm okay with a $3 tip, okay? Anywhere from $3 to $10 tip is good. Okay, depends on the service, depends on if we're late or on time. If I'm nice and polite, I text you, hey John, I'm on the way, this is Mike, your DoorDash driver. I'll be there in the next 10 minutes, right? If you get a guy that's going above and beyond what the normal guy does, give him a few extra bucks. If you usually tip $0, tip him $3. If you usually tip $3, tip him $6. If you usually tip $5, tip $8, $9, $10. If he puts in that extra effort and that extra time, and he shows that he cares about your order and your food and all that kind of stuff. Because like I said, we work hard. You know, I go out every day, I do 12 hours. I mean, I want to make at least $200. With the gas, I spend $50 a day, and then my food, and then my taxes. It adds up, guys. So believe me, you know, don't be thinking when you order a pizza from Postmates or DoorDash or Grubhub thinking, oh, well, the company pays them enough, it's fine. I'm going to tell you right now, they do not pay us enough. I repeat, they do not pay us enough. We get about $5 to $7 per order. That's it. From the time we accept it to the drop-off, some orders can take a whole hour, right? There's traffic, there's rush hour. One time I waited 40 minutes at a restaurant. I didn't get paid for those minutes. I had to wait. I had no choice. I couldn't cancel the order. I couldn't do anything about it. You know, the DoorDash wasn't going to pay me extra money or Postmates or anything. I don't get paid for those extra minutes to wait. But it's my job, right? So I do it. And by all said and done, I only make about $8 for that hour. So it depends on you guys to tip, right? If I can make about $5 tips per order, that's good. Now I'm not complaining. When I get the good tips, I'm happy, right? Right? I'm really happy when you guys tip about 10 to 15 bucks per order. When it's a big order, okay? That's understandable. If you have an order that's $50 to $100, you know, tip accordingly. Tip 15, 20%. I mean, that's just like if you go into a restaurant, you know, most likely you're going to tip the server. You got a good service. Most people tip typically 15 to 20% of the bill, right? So if it's 20 bucks, you might tip $3 or $4. If it's 40 bucks, you might tip close to $8 to $10. You know, if it's 50 bucks, you know, you're going to tip $10 to $15. I mean, whatever. You know, tip accordingly. You know, if we provide a good service, tip us. You know, tip at least 15%. That's it. 15 to 20%. I mean, if it's a big order, I mean, if you're already paying about 60 bucks, I mean, is it gonna kill you to throw an extra $10 on top of the tip? No, or even $15. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've had some pretty good tips. I've had some good orders where people are respectable and they understand and they respect me and they appreciate me and they tip me accordingly. You know, they tip me 20 to 30% of the bill, and that's how it should be. You know, but I understand if you order McDonald's or Taco Bell or something cheap, I understand where you're coming from. You're getting cheap food, you know, that's your decision. But remember that we work hard for our money. We're wasting our gas, our time. We make sure you get your items, your sauce, extra napkins, all this kind of stuff, right? You get a driver that texts you, hey, would you like sauce? Would you like this? Blah, blah, blah. I'll be there in 10 minutes. I'll meet you outside the gate, this or that, or whatever, right? Tip us. Even if it's a few bucks, it totally helps us out. $2, $3. You know, if I can average $5 per order for tip, that's great. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we only make about $5 per order. Every order I get, it doesn't matter if it's big, small, whatever. That's what I average, about $5 per order. You know, sometimes if it's a longer distance, I get paid a little more, but it's still not enough. With the time and the gas that I spend, it's just not enough. Now, if you, like I said before, if you take a Uber or Lyft, believe me, the money I made when I did Uber and Lyft, I did not need no tips. All right. So when you take an Uber and Lyft and you get these drivers that say, oh, I need tips, believe me, they don't need tips. Uber and Lyft pays good enough. No tip is necessary. But believe me, when you order food from, you know, Postmates or Doordash or Grubhub, we need the tip. It's not optional. We need it. For us to make our goal and for us to survive and eat and pay our bills and our gas and our food and our taxes, we need the tip. Because DoorDash and Postmates and Grubhub and Uber Eats and Caviar and all these other different food delivery companies, they don't pay enough, guys. I wish they did. I wish they would raise the pay or whatever so you guys wouldn't have to worry about tipping. But guys, we do not get paid enough, believe me, with food delivery. So please, I'm begging you guys, if you guys get a good driver, he does his job, he gets your food on time, he's nice, polite, he communicates with you if there's a problem, he tells you, hey, I'll be there in 10 minutes, my name is Mike, I'll be there soon. You know, if he does his job and he does what he's supposed to do, give him at least $3, you know. Because if we get $5 plus 3, okay, at least that's $8. Okay, but really we need about $10 per order. So, you know, if you really want to help the driver out, give them $10. And now many of these apps, I know with DoorDash you can tip before. You can actually tip before you can tip when you place the order. So you don't have to do it at the end. When you place the order, it'll ask to tip. all you do is press the 5. That's it. Just think of it as, okay, well, I paid the delivery fee and I'm tipping the driver. I'm doing a good deed. I'm making sure he gets paid properly, and that's it. I mean, it's karma. You know what I'm saying? If you go out through all your life ordering, you know, food delivery, not tipping, it's going to come bite you in the ass, you know? I mean, because you go into a restaurant, you get a good service, and you tip. So what is the difference? You should be tipping a delivery driver more, to be honest with you, since he's wasting his gas. You know, he has to spend money to make money. You know what I'm saying? A server or a waitress, all they do is walk into work. They don't have to spend no money. You know, they just serve you your food. That's it. Plus, they're getting the minimum wage, $10 to $15 an hour. Plus, they're getting all these tips, you know. So a delivery driver should make equal or more than what a server gets paid. You know what I'm saying? So think about it. We're going out of our way. We're wasting our gas, our time. We're making sure you get your food and your condiments and all this kind of stuff. Okay, so tip us. Tip at least $5, $5 to $10. You know, if it's a bigger order, yeah, tip more. If it's like McDonald's, Taco Bell, you don't want to tip a lot. You know, you don't have much money. At least tip $3. Make it worth our while. You know what I'm saying? Because many times when I see a McDonald's order, I don't even want to take it because most likely you guys aren't going to tip, and it makes me not want to do my job. So if you guys want your food on time, you know, if you want a good experience, tip us, you know what I'm saying? Tip us because we do our job. We do what we're supposed to do, you know? And I'm telling you right now, Doordash, Uber, Eats, you know, all these different companies, they don't pay us enough. They don't pay us enough. So yeah, when you're done with the order or when you place the order, make sure you tip us. Or at the end, I know with Postmates, it tells you to tip at the end. So when it tells you to tip $3, $3 to $5. Tip us something, because a lot of times I'll do Postmates, I see a lot of zeros. So I don't really know what that's about. I don't know if it's just people who do Postmates, they just don't tip. But guys, we need our tips, guys. That's how we survive. That's how we pay our bills. That's how we pay our gas. Postmates doesn't pay enough. DoorDash doesn't pay enough. No company pays enough. You know what I'm saying? So we need our tips, guys. I'm serious. We need our tips. And if you have cash, if you can tip us cash, that's even better. Because then we don't have to report that on our taxes. You know? Because every dollar we make, we have to pay taxes on that. You know? So if it shows up in the app that we made $10 on this order, we got to, you know, you got to already subtract $2 for taxes. You know what I'm saying? So from time to time, I'll get some cash tips, and I appreciate that. Even some fast food orders. Like the other night, this guy ordered Carl's Jr. He tipped me $7. That was great. You know, I would have been happy with $3 on a fast food order is fine. But if you guys can tip $5 or more, that's great. Because the next time I see you, I'm gonna make sure you get your sauce, all this extra stuff, or whatever. I'm gonna remember you. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you tip me $0, I'm gonna remember that you didn't tip me at all. Now, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna mess up your order, but you know, you really think I'm gonna give you that extra care and attention and extra sauce or this or that? No. If I see that you're a cheap individual, you're not gonna tip, you're not gonna respect me and show me appreciation and tip your delivery driver, I'm gonna remember that for next time. And if I see your name or your address, I'm gonna say, oh, okay, this guy didn't tip. Maybe I'll just decline your order. I won't even accept it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all about respect. It's all about tipping your driver, guys. You know, we waste our time, our energy, our gas. We got to pay for food, our bills. I mean, nothing is free in this world. So like I said, next time you order from Postmates or DoorDash, please tip your driver $5. It's not going to kill you. And if you have cash, we actually prefer that. I prefer that. I would love to get cash tip from everybody. If everyone tipped me $5 per order times 20 orders, that's $100 in cash. Boom. I have my gas, I have my food, I have some money for my bills or whatever. And then boom, whatever Postmates and Doordash pays me. If it's $100, I make $100. But if I can get $100 in tips, cash, that's better too. So if you want to know, well, should I tip them cash or on the app? Well, if you can do both, do both. Tip $2 on the app, $3 in person. Or if you can tip $5 in cash, then do that. We need our tips, guys. I'm telling you right now. I mean, we need our tips. These companies do not pay enough, believe me. But if you order Uber and Lyft, they pay enough. Don't worry about Uber and Lyft drivers not getting paid enough. The tips, you know, it's a very small percentage of what Uber and Lyft drivers get paid. I used to do it. I used to do Uber and Lyft every single day. My tips would range from anywhere from $5 to $50. From $5 to $50. And I used to make anywhere from $300 to $400 a day. So believe me, the tips with Uber and Lyft, it's a very small percentage. It's a very small chunk. But when when drivers that do food delivery like Postmates, Caviar, DoorDash, Grubhub, believe me, we need our tips. Because without our tips, we're making about half of what we should. We should be making at least $200 a day. If we don't receive no tips, most likely we're only going to make about $100. And that's not enough. So guys, please understand that we need our tips. We work hard. If you get a driver that does his job, tip him. If he goes above and beyond what he's supposed to do, then tip him more. And that's it. And we prefer cash. That's it. That's all I've got to say, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And guys, I'll see you next time. Alright guys, see you later.